So you mentioned that you had to, start moving to the internet. What were some of the things that you did on the internet that were different than what other people did?
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I guess I could take a shot in the dark. I stayed true to myself.
Okay.
That's something a lot of people don't do on the internet.
Interesting. So you're just putting on music to represent yourself. You weren't flexing.
I was doing a lot of I wasn't really trying to stay with the wave as I do now. I try to just make music that comes from right here. So it's that's what I was doing then, and people gravitated towards it. It was always something different, always something new, but never too far off from who I am. Right. So one big move that I did after started realizing how to get this, where I wanted my career to be. I changed my rap name. I used to go by Young Flame back in high school, and the times where, the MySpace time, where I did Boogie Down. But then I realized my music started becoming more mature as I was becoming older. You know what I mean? And which is a blessing, because not a lot of people can actually grow with their music grow with them. You see what I mean? So I had to find a new name, and ended up settling with my original name, Denzil Porter, and that helped a massive amount on the internet because people look at this, they look at that to see, I'll listen to a guy named Denzil Porter versus a Young Flame talking about intuition, you know what I mean? And these serious records will need it's not a play thing. Right. Yeah, so a big move that I did was go to my real name, and that was one of the major steps I did.
Cool, because you represent yourself.
Yeah, so.
Cool. And you do have quite a lot of work out on the internet, and a popular piece that a lot of people like to reference is your Team Backpack cipher. So you said you grew up doing ciphers and rap battles. Would you call yourself a true freestylist, or would you call yourself more like a poet?
So I feel freestyle or battling, I'm not a battle rapper at all. Don't get it confused. Okay. But I defend myself because that's where it comes from. You know what I mean? There was a time in New York where you could be on the train with headphones on, and somebody may walk past and say, "Oh, you rap?" And they say, "Yeah, I rap." And then it's time. You know what I mean? Right. You got to show and prove. And that was my high school. That was junior high school. That was what it was. If you rap, you'll be tested. You know what I mean? And it's not no punch you in the face, shoot up your crib. It's really I got this. I'm better than you. I'm going to shine right now. That was in the lunchroom. And that wasn't, the trains, like I said. This is something you kind of had to go through. You see what I'm saying? So once I reached Team Backpack, it was nothing I wasn't used to. Right. It was that's it. Finally there's a stage for this, I don't have to battle. I just have to show and prove. I have to show the I can talk about the audience. I can talk about the president. I don't have to talk about the one man in front of me, right. And that's what, it was like a blessing to run into Team Backpack because they were already doing their thing and I was already who I was, and it was just there's a stage for that, and and so that's how it came about.
That's interesting. Do you have a chance to do some acapella?
Right now, I'm not even.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm not even. Let's get back to that. We probably come back to it after a couple minutes.
Word. So I'm gonna ask you a question about your fans, right?
Yeah.
What do your fans mean to you?
My fans are everything. They're everything because they all kind of have this. They all reach this understanding when it comes to me. You know what I mean? And it's as if they understand me more than I understand myself. And they tell me about myself. And now, of course, a lot of it is bullshit. A lot of it you can't even take. You got to just take it as a grain of salt. But a lot of it you could take into consideration. And just like I keep it real on my music, they keep it real with me. So if they don't like something, I don't disrespect them, curse them out. Well, it's because this, it's because that. I open up to them. What is it? And then we can have a discussion about it. So whether that fan was a hater, my goal is to turn him into a fan, a full-time fan. You see what I'm saying? Whether he is I can't do nothing else but hate because that's all over the internet. But you can convert these guys. You can talk to them. You can actually, because sometimes that's all they need is somebody to talk to, you know? And that's what the social networks and everything is about. So the fans right now, it's everything. It's not like it used to where you could just like become this celebrity and not see anybody. You're going to run into people. You're going to speak to people. And the only way I'm going to know what's going on is talking to these fans, because there's so much things going on. See, before, like, I could say a punchline and we all on the same wave, so you'll catch that. You see what I mean? But now there's so much people listening, there's so much things going on. I could say a punchline that only this group of fans are gonna understand, you know. And my skill, what I try to do is throw these overhead punchlines that are not too far overhead where you'll never get them, but somebody in the room is going to get it. And when somebody in the room gets that, I need that person to spread it. And once that person spreads it, it's like an exclusivity thing when you listen to my stuff, you know? So that fan or my fans who understand this, they kind of feel like that person in the room. I am the smart guy in the room. I got that line. Oh, you didn't know what that mean? Let me put you on. You know, I need that part to make Denzil Porter complete. Like, for you to even understand this line that I just said about the cosmos, because the whole room, we don't give a damn about science, but that person does. And that person just put the whole room on, and now the whole room gives a damn.
Well, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so I need the fans, like how bread needs butter and toast. Like, you know what I mean? So it's definitely a something I appreciate.
And do you how often do you tour? How often do you go on do shows?
I'm just on the road. Like, anytime I get a show, I'm there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Do you have
I went on the tour, my favorite, like 2014 with Futuristic in them, and that was a wild tour and stuff like that. But since then, I've just been on the road.
What's your favorite part about being on the road, about performing? Or actually, what's your favorite part about making music? Is it performing? Is it the studio process? Is it after parties?
Performing.
Yeah.
Performing is one of my favorite parts about making music, because that's the rawest form of it. So, you know, like I could write something, I could record it, and it could sound horrible. But if I perform it and like you could just see it in the people's faces, their eyes, like that's it. Like, that's how, you know what I mean? And then I could have said, damn, I would have swore I hated that when I wrote it. The performance is everything. Like, you can take a very, like, what is he talking about, and just turn it into like a whole, you know, the whole place going crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, like that's my thing. And even when it comes to the ciphers, you know, I could record these things, I could put them out, that people could just listen to them. But the performance, like looking into the cameras, playing the cameras, and like making the people feel like they're there, that's like, you know, a very powerful thing for me. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of what got me into the thing, going to performances growing up, seeing people perform growing up. It's the first impression, usually.
Where do you see the future of music going?
What do you mean?
That's a good question. So do you think people are going to be... Do you think people are... So I'll back up and I'll say that there's a huge space right now for independent musicians right now. And more than ever, independent musicians have the opportunity to be superstars.
Yeah.
You know, with or without a label, you know, with or without almost anything that people needed in the past. So do you think this is going to create more talent, or do you think it's going to create
we already going through
gap?
that. I think what's gonna happen has already started.
Right now, right?
It started
with
Napster, like, you know, it's already started. Like, right now, I'm not looking forward to a record deal. There's a bag of kids out there not looking forward to record deals.
Yep.
Well, like I said, I was making music when I was 8, so like. You know, back then, you know, we used to hear, like, yeah, we want the record, we want the da-da-da, but now kind of we reached a level where, it's the brand, the marketing, the this, the that, we could kind of do our own thing. Like, you know, from when I built my first studio, it felt like I got my own thing here, I put out my own projects, I put my own name, my own this, my own that, and then you realize, like, we reached it here today in 2018, you start seeing everybody has their own thing going on. It's like, It's a own thing world right now. So it's about to be, not about to be, there's already a wave of music, of independent artists that are doing their thing, that are about to be, the only thing they're about to be is the next big wave. You see what I mean? And then the next big wave after that, and the next big wave. Right. There's no, I don't know. Not for me. I can't see.
Well, I guess that goes, sorry, you can finish that, but I was just going to say that, to me, that just goes to show that there's a lot of people who are going to be successful.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that are going to want to be successful. And I'm just curious at what separates those two groups of people.
The people who do it and the people who don't.
I guess, yeah, fair enough. Interesting, yeah.
There's people who want. There's a lot of people who say, yo, I want this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. And then there's people who just do. And the people who just do, they don't do a lot of talking. You just look at them and they're just going about their business. You know what I mean? So, for example, to go back to this, I want to record. I want to make a song. I want to do this. I want to do that. Or what are you doing about it? Because what I did was built a studio. All those wants, I didn't say no want. I'm going to. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I want this. I want that. No, I'm going to. Or how can I? Or how will I? Or how? Rather than want.
Mm-hmm. So, just let's go back to this independent artist question, and I know that there is a difference between doing things and just saying things. Mm-hmm. But if you had to take maybe give three suggestions to an artist to to get their work together and strive to get to the level you're at, what would you tell them to focus on?
What do you mean?
So, like, if I'm looking today to be the next Denzil Porter, I think it's going to be hard. Yet, if I'm going to be the first Patrick DiMattani,
What for somebody today, what I would tell them to do?
Yeah,
I think what I have over a lot of people today is that I'm a student of the game. I'm a student of the game, and I'm not trying to say this in terms of just hip-hop. Whatever I'm trying to do, I become a student of that. You know what I'm saying? If I want to teach, I'll become a student of a teacher. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A lot of people or a lot of artists in hip-hop right now, they're not students of the game. They don't know where this came from, who this was, who that was. Oh my God. I was in the gym the other day and a kid said... Who are you listening to another kid? And the other kid said, Dr. Dre. He said, who the fuck is Dr. Dre? Man. I looked over with the straightest face, this doesn't exist, right? And that's Dr. Dre. That's him. You hurt my heart. So what am I doing this for? You see what I'm saying? So it's they're not students of the game. They're just doing it because it's fun or this, that. Mm-hmm. I was just talking how we're respecting a lot of, we used to respect the drug dealers and look up to them, and we want the car, we want this, we want that. But now it seems like we want the drugs. We want to take the drugs, and we're looking up to the taker and the users and this and that. It's a lot of, if you're trying to become what level I'm at, one thing I'd say I have a lot over a lot of people today is that I'm a student of the game. I'm not just somebody who's just doing something or just looked into it, just read a little bit. No, I'm an actual coming from it until I become a master of it. You know what I mean? So that's one suggestion I would give, is to be that student of a game. Know what you're getting into. Don't just get into it.
Cool. One last question. So what are some of the other projects you're working on that you'd like to delve deeper on and talk to people about? So what are some of the other things you're working on
currently?
Yeah.
Currently I'm trying. This year I feel like I'm gonna, and I say this now because I kind of want to bring it to light, so I speak it to existence. I want to focus on bodies of work. We spoke just now about, you expect a lot of music coming out from a lot of people. Yeah, I do. I see a lot of music coming out from a lot of people, and I feel like I should be a part of that wave. because like I have an element that's missing. You know what I mean? Like that people don't offer too much, which is like a storytelling or this nostalgic feeling that one used to have when they listen to hip hop and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like I should be playing my role and bringing that to the table. So this year I'll be focusing more on bodies of work and releasing, like I still have Redwood Road, I still have like Speaking to Existence and these projects that I'm supposed to release and projects that I'm working on like Barking 2 and stuff like that. So yeah, I got a lot to look forward to this year.
Cool. Blessings to you, brother. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate this.
No problem, man.